Hello. Your eyes do not deceive you. There are 4 of us.
4.
There we go. And the reason we're slightly late is because someone forgot the password.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's not a hard password, and I believe they also set up the password as well.
I did set up the password. But,
How are you doing? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm very good.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. So yeah, it's nice to be back. It's definitely nice to come back on the show. Of course, everyone probably knows what's going on in my personal life. So I'm trying to come back on as much as I can at the moment. So at the moment, I'm trying to aim for every other week. So
nice.
And then slowly increase it more and more and more.
There we go. That's a good plan. Plus, also, you come back on the week that we're going to have an argument. So
I know. So I heard. So.
You timed that really, really well. No, fantastic. But of course, so welcome back to Ken, and thank you, and welcome to everyone who's joined us this evening. There's quite a few of you already. This is season 6, episode 2. And we're going to be looking at quintessential 28mm historical kits for various armies and periods later on, and just saying, basically just arguing.
Heated debate.
Yes.
Well, I have a funny feeling that we'll probably end up agreeing with more, but I'm interested to see what people think in the chat. There's already been some debate about what the term quintessential means.
What does it mean, Mark? Explain.
Whatever it means, whatever I damn well likes. It's my week. No, we'll come on to that in a little bit, but let's see who's dropped in. We've got Mr. 95th. Are you right, Liam? How you doing? Digger Down Under. Don's here. Evening from a frigid and snowy Ohio. Taking a break from painting Flames of War Soviets and working on epic ACW Confederates tonight for their Antietam game.
Nice.
Carl Burks, John Sobry. How you doing? He's Miami, where the weather is nice, but he's got the lurgy. Rich is here. How you doing, dude? He is good evening from the ford by the Roman road in South Mercia, mainly basing footsore Saxon archers this evening, which will be for Midgard and Conquest. Excellent stuff. Why is my room just turned red? That's weird. The lights have just done something strange. Red Steph, how you doing, dude? East Norfolks, you all right? Grant's here, Martin Hoey, Mark Ryden, Neil, Granaprigo, how you doing, dude? Pat Alid, how you doing? He's painting epic ACW as well. Dave Benton's here, from a chilly Yorkshire coast. Craig Williams, Benjamin's in, you all right, dude? Steve Harbour, he's on Landschnecks. It's the 13th of January and we're already moved on to Landschnecks.
Watch those cod pieces. God.
Carazette, White Stag Miniatures, Shell Shocked Scenics. Daniel Justin, I hope you're all right, dude.
Yeah.
Hope you're safe.
He just says that things are quieter today. But no, look after yourself and do let us all know how you are. Trey Janik, Lazy Pirate Painting, Ian Wright, Mortzik, how you doing, dude? Who else going? Andrew JF, Walt Hendrickson, how you doing? Cardboard Fortress, Frank's Miniatures, someone called Robin. He's still cooking dinner. You work where they make food. Like, can't you just have dinner there? Carsten Lambert, Nathan, Buzzed Swan. Hello, not sure I've seen you before, but welcome. Bad Beagle Wargaming, Shakos and Sprues. James, you all right? It's apparently a mild and slushy Yorkshire where he is. Mobile and Hostile. It's going to do that thing. Ken, yes, look. See, yes, Ken. Someone said his name 3 times into a mirror.
Yeah.
Digger Down Under, CCRD, Rob and Rose Hoden, it's going to do that thing. Nick Games, Fish Frenzy, hello.
Fish Frenzy.
Willem Major, how you doing? From the cold Netherlands. Major Clanger, how you doing? Sven Dharma, Richard Biddle, Paul Crouch, and it's done that thing where it just goes to the bottom. But anyway, welcome everyone, and of course, if you're watching on the catch-up, welcome as well. We are sponsored by our friends over at Boards and Swords, where if you go over there and put in the code PCP5 when you check out, you get 5% off on whatever they're selling, whatever you're buying. And of course, you can find all of the links to our various channels and stuff down below, and a link to the Facebook group, which has been inundated.
I don't know what's been going on there.
I know.
Worn out. Denying people.
I know. Even I've been accepting people. It's crazy.
What?
Bloody hell.
I know. I got
There's a
to one before
backlog.
Dom. I got to someone before Dom the other day, and they'd actually answered the question, so I got
Yeah,
to let
I know.
someone in and not feel bad.
I always reply with that when you click no, but write a comment. Ye did not answer questions free. You shall
Oh,
enter.
I don't. I just don't respond. I let Dom respond because he's got.
I noticed that you always leave the ones for me to say no to because
Yeah, I know.
they haven't replied to.
Well, I feel like they've done it on purpose and they want you to. I feel like they want the Dom treatment. So
I think, in fairness, some of the
treatment sounds
some of
horrific.
the
Yeah,
Dom treatment,
yeah.
nobody wants the Dom treatment. I can assure you. I think sometimes the mobile version doesn't give you the questions.
No, it doesn't.
I think that's
It-
part of the problem.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Hmm.
When you go to select a group, it doesn't.
But I'm still
ask
going to
you to.
deny them.
Yes, you have to answer on a PC or slash.
despite Dom's best efforts, we are actually getting inundated by
I'm
members.
trying
So,
my best.
which is awesome because there's been a lot of new people posting pictures of what they're working on and games they're having. So yeah, that's John says, what's the Dom treatment, or is that an entirely different podcast? Yeah, the Domish Inquisition, absolutely. That's it. No, it's been a busy week. Well, of course, last week we had Warren and Paul on from the OPC, so we didn't do a project update on what we'd been working on because we already had project updates for everything else for the year. Of course, just a reminder for those people who do want to take part in this year's OPC challenge and come up with your points values for what you're going to achieve. I think before I logged on, I saw Steph pledge 50,000 points or something.
Yeah, something like
What?
that.
Yeah, I thought I saw that.
50,000.
The thing is, epics. If you do epics, you get an
Ye-
awful lot of points for doing epics.
Right,
So,
yeah.
so I think if you're planning to do, because I saw Alid was doing some ridiculous number on that as well. So I think if I can't remember the exact pointing, but yeah, because they're done in a big strip, they all count as individual 15 mils, which count quite high. So there you go.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
still a shit ton of painting to be done.
I love his response. Just yes. Just
yes.
But no, do go. How are you doing, dude? Mugsy makes. How you doing, James?
Hello, James.
Hope it's all right. And does the Dom treatment involve a comfortable seating device? Hey, slow down. No. So we are going
Only
to
on
have
the
a catch
second
up.
date.
I can see the
Oh,
humour's
God.
still the same. Hasn't changed.
Sorry, yes, it's got worse if anything.
Got worse.
It's got worse. So we will go through every what people have been up to. Although in Dom's case, it's going to be the highlights of what he's been up to.
I've limited it to this weekend, mate. You'll be pleased to know.
I guess right. That doesn't really actually fill me with because you're probably still done more than me. Let's start with Ken. Have you managed any hobbying recently?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Well,
What are you been up to?
Yeah, blame Matthew Wright. I'm going to give him a plug here. He does a commission painting service, so I inquired him about when we were at CrackCon last year about doing some Battle of Britain, Blood Red Skies. Really enjoyed it, didn't I? So yeah, I inquired with him about doing some, and he was very reasonably priced. I'm not going to lie, but I thought I'll paint one Spitfire, and I'll give it a go. And I was like, oh, actually, I quite like this. So I'm really sorry, Matthew, but I'm actually going to paint my own ones. But I'm hoping.
That's so Ken.
It's so me. To be fair, though, he was a very good price. It's just because I'm really going to enjoy doing them, and they're very.
I thought you were about to say because you're really tight. I thought you were about to say.
No, not at all. And he does a really nice paint job. So check out some of his work. I'm sure he puts some up on the Facebook group.
He does. No, you can.
But
check his stuff out.
I'm literally just doing the decals on these Spitfires now. I've got that much blood red skies to get through.
Oh, crikey.
Which
Blimey.
is a lot.
Do you remember when he put all his stuff in bags?
Yes.
Do you remember
Yeah.
when he
Yes.
was going to reach under it?
That lasted a week, didn't it?
Yeah, that lasted.
Yeah,
so,
basically.
so that's just tokens and stands. That's how much stuff the blood red skies got. But yeah, no, I've been doing that. And to be fair, I've changed job roles in where I'm working at the moment. So I've now become the man, the money man.
A man.
Like, I'm the money man. You come to me for money. You come to
My
me for
God,
money.
do you ever give it out to anybody? I thought the whole role of money man was that you
Yeah.
just pass it out occasionally, but you won't.
So I work from home. I work from home now, mostly. So like during my breaks and stuff, I can sit at the desk like Dom knows and do a little bit of painting, which is rather nice. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm getting a bit more hobby done than I like normally would. So yeah,
Excellent. Excellent. What have you got planned hobby wise?
it's going to be mainly, I think, this year. It's obviously with Sophie and everything like that. I think I'm mainly going to focus on Blood Red Skies because I've got everything else, as you can see, behind painted up, pretty much. And Blood Red Skies and Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth. Because people don't know this today. Dom, you're the only one who knows this, don't you? So I went on a bit of a I went on a bit of a crazy spree of buying terrain.
Oh no, you posted.
Oh yeah, I
this
did
in
say
the group.
no, but
You
I
showed
bought
the
more.
picture.
No, but I bought more.
Oh,
Yeah, so I bought more. So I think I've got about 80 buildings now. It's all too cheap.
I mean, 80. Yeah. So you bought a town, basically.
So I bought a town, yeah. So I'm never going to run out of buildings.
Jeez.
And I've started painting them different colours. They're all individually wrapped in bubble wrap, which makes me really happy to know that they're all nice and safe. But yeah, I bought up the country supply of what was it called again, Dom?
Conflict.
Conflicts. Yeah. So if you're looking for that stuff, it's out of production now. And I bought the rest of it. So tough shit.
Yeah, he bought yeah.
Got everything there is in this country.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's what I've been up to. But thanks for indulging. That's nice to
I got the Haley bought me the new Lord of the Rings box for Christmas. The new starter, the Battle of Edra. So I've got that on the horizon to stick together. At some point.
I'm gonna do, like I said before. I don't know. I've spoke to you guys about it, but eventually I'm not gonna do all the scenarios in the wargaming book. I'm gonna do the actual book. So I'm gonna actually do the whole story. And when a fellowship guy dies, he dies, for example, and like make it into more like of a D&D sort of interaction thing as well. So so I've got loads. I've probably got about 100 games planned for it. So it should be interesting.
Will be cool. That will be cool. Dom, have you actually? Do you know what we might do? Dom in a second. Steve, Steve, what have you been up to, dude?
do you know what I've just Googled? Quite possibly the weirdest Google search of this year. Xenomorph Teeth.
Xenomorph Teeth.
Yeah,
painting. Is in the alien. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm painting some xenomorphs, and I didn't know what colour their teeth were.
Just brain coloured, aren't they? Because that's just
I mean, you don't really see them much at 28mm, but it's just all I've done is painted them black, done a gloss black paint and dry brushed them white, and they're done. And it's too quick. I want to use these are being used for Space Waders at the weekend. I want to test drink Space Waders. I want to test a full alien force with no firepower. They've just got big claws and teeth, and I want to see how they go up against my other chaps. But painting wise, a bit of everything. So let's have a look.
There's a surprise with you.
So this is last year. I was painting 10mm orcs and goblins for Midgard.
Yeah.
And I finished the army.
Oh, nice.
That's cracking.
Oh, wow.
What I've found is photographing 10mm figures is a pain in the arse because you can't actually see anything. They're just lovely to paint. I'm going to be ordering a second army sometime this month. Wow. Skeletons to go up against them. I'm really looking forward to playing a 10mm. I've not played 10mm for a good long time. So I think 10mm fantasy for Midgard should be quite interesting. What else was I working on? I made a video about these just before the new year.
Oh yes, yes.
You've gone all Trent doodah.
These are for trench weirdos. So it's not Trench Crusade, it's Space Weirdos. But that's all. Just all kit bashed, all of them, with Perry's and War Games Atlantic and Bolt Action and Gene Stealers.
I was going to say that head on the left is clearly a Perry's head.
Which what the bald guy?
Oh, clearly Perry's.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's all bits and pieces, and I really enjoy painting them. I put a video about the kit bashing. They were just a lot of fun. You start something, you don't know how it's going to end, and I was just surrounded by sprues and plastic and glue and green stuff and milliput, and it was great.
I feel that way about, isn't it? I feel that way about the film Inception. That's what I felt when I started watching that.
So at the start of the year, I've been reorganizing for Bolt Action 3rd edition with my Americans, because me and my mate, most of our games in the past have been set in the Pacific, so we've been reorganizing my USMC. So I started off with first squad of Marines. Nice. I first painted these were first painted in 2018, and you could tell they were shit. So they've had a bit of a spruce up of better uniforms, better skin, and better basing. I've not used any mixed herbs on these guys. And I get to play with more tanks in 3rd edition. So these were really old. The bases were crud. They weren't painted very well. The one on the left was a completely different shade of green. And I can feed
wood stuff.
Oh, me. That's coffee stirrers.
That's really cool, man. I like
cut
that.
into shape. I did it years ago. Absolutely years ago I did that. And the bolts are just round sprues cut into really small sections.
Yeah.
I'm based and added lots more mud.
Based, obviously.
Oh yes, had to be based. And this gave me an idea.
Else who misses Steve's fetish for cork and herbs. It's just not right somehow.
No. I will use mixed herbs again, but I just think that looking at them now, they looked a bit wrong. I don't know. They just herby. A bit herby. But it got me thinking about our jungle terrain. Now, all our games in the Pacific are played on a thing called the Kazi Trail.
Going up the Kazi, is that so you can have a joke?
Because there's a Kazi there.
Love it. Excellent.
So these were just plain MDF. And that's where I thought, no, I need to put on better bases. I made some funky roofs, some material for the roofs. I had lots of tufts and clump foliage. So there's a bigger build in there.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
I wanted to make it look a bit abandoned, so lots of growths and stuff like that. And the roofs are a bit raggedy as well. Those roofs are actually made from moss liners.
Well done. Bravo.
He's here.
Well done.
I give it out.
Yay!
I know. I deserve it. Thank you very much.
Top stuff. So yeah, I made the roofs out of moss liners that you use on sort of planters. And I'm it was a bit green, so I just painted it like a washed down khaki, and it turned out quite well. I got a watchtower as well.
Cool.
And
you thought about using them for 0-200 hours and doing one set and just swapping out for obviously the Japanese for the Germans and using the US.
Yeah, to make it definitely used. Could also use them with Vietnam games as well, I suppose, because they've that area. That's what I've been up to. Mainly bolt action, Marines, and 10mm stuff. I've got some more to add actually. Currently painting more Marines. Painting Xenomorphs for Space Weirdos at the weekend. Yeah, and I'm also making some more Space Weirdo scenery because I want to do I'm increasing it from 2x2 to 3x3.
How do you expand the Space Weirdos board? What are you thinking? Are you just doing more of the same, or are you going to do a section? Like now that you've got aliens, you can do like one that's like cocooned a bit, like the way the alien. Could you get some of that scenery and just slap like insulation foam on it?
Yeah, could do.
Put like eyeballs and things
and heads and stuff in. Yeah,
you've got like zombie. You could have people like there out the side.
But no, there's loads of ideas. I think I love the Necromunda scenery though. Speaking of Necromunda, I've actually been playing the Necromunda video game for the past week.
There's a video game.
Yeah, there is.
Yes, it started off quite kind of buggy and glitchy. Didn't get a good write-up at all. I got it on sale for £1.59, which reduced by 90%.
What's the format? Is it? I mean, in my brain, so it would work like XCOM.
It is. It's very close to XCOM. It's turn-based, and I'm still in sort of the earlier missions at the moment. It's Escher against Orlocks. But I'm enjoying it. I imagine it was going to be a complete buggy mess with absolutely no link to Necromunda, but it feels very Necromunda-esque.
I feel like Dom would be House Escher. I kind of feel like.
Oh yeah. Scooby-Doo.
If anyone could go and find a picture for Dom, I think that would.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm not saying anything.
No, that's fantastic. No, that's awesome stuff. Right, settle in, folks.
There we go. Strap in.
Right then. So
you'll be very disappointed because I only picked up a couple of pictures because I just thought, you know.
Right. Okay. Well. Okay. We should start this by saying Dom has done a very comprehensive hobby update recently. So if you would like to see the full breadth of what he achieved in about 6 days, go and have a look at that because it is an awesome video and very, very inspirational. Dom, take it away now for what you've managed to do. What did you say for the weekend?
Just the weekend, yeah. It's been it has been a weird first. What is it? 13th today. So 13 days this year. I have painted over 150 figures, 28 mils. So I don't know quite how that's happened, but it has. I couldn't quite believe it myself when I. Are
you doing the challenge? Are you doing the OPC?
I am, yeah.
So how many points are you on now?
Well, I said to Warren, I'm not going to commit. I have put it down on a spreadsheet, but I sort of thought, well, you know, let other people guess what I'm going to aim for. Yeah, I mean,
what are you on?
Around well over 1,000 already. Yeah.
How much do you get for a Spitfire?
About 5.
I knew you could say that.
it probably, to be honest, it is because I did a building and it's like 10.
Yeah. Oh, bugger.
So yeah, it probably
a Spitfire that's also this big. So a Spitfire that's large, that's like a scale.
Yeah, I've done all the panel washing.
Well, then you might get because there is a grading for a better quality.
Yeah. Well, you get like 1 extra point, so it'd be 6.
Yeah, right, 6 points. There you go.
And then basing. If you do interesting basing, then then you get. But you're not going to interestingly base your Spitfire, right?
No,
really.
Not.
You can hang it from the roof, like we all used to do. So yeah, it's been mad first part of the year, and I don't know why. I mean, I get this every so often. I just get a complete painting frenzy, and I just can't stop painting. So literally staying up until 1 a.m. painting, getting up the next morning, doing another half an hour before work, and then during work and what have you as well. So it's just bizarre. I don't know why.
Sorry, I got Yorkshire Dragoon says he doesn't know how your wife puts up with you spending all the time painting because Mrs. Dragoon would kill him, and then Paul just put ketamine.
Well, it's pretty much the same, Paul, because she watched so much crap telly. I'm sure it's doing something to her brain. So while she's sitting there watching, how many murder programs how many murder shows are there on TV?
And are we talking documentaries or are we talking?
The Midsummer.
Oh, the Midsummer. See, I can't hack those ones. I do like a good true crime documentary.
Oh
yeah,
I like the odd one or two, but literally it's wall to wall in our house.
Where you're sufficiently depressed at the end of it.
Normally it's what's that channel between 6 and 12? It's just like a murderer's handbook. It's just it's just so many documentaries about different true
There are
crime.
so many murder crimes, and either fantasy ones or real ones going on in our household. I really worry what Mrs. C is planning. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Robin's on the same. He said, "Yes, that's research."
Yeah, you're not wrong, Robin. So yeah, this weekend I cracked on with some others. So some more Bowman. There you go, some more Bowman.
Hey,
Devon.
Oh, nice.
Earl of
Devon, yeah.
So that was
Nice. Cool.
They came out all right. Quite happy with them. Just pure Bowman. I was going to make them just nondescript, and then I something turned them into. I don't know why Devon.
Well, the thing is, if it doesn't matter, I mean, if you're playing because you're and you haven't even got Devon in, it's not like unfeasible that like there would be a company of his men that are still like there. So it's putting the livery flag in there. I think is that makes sense. You're Lancastrian, just chuck a Lancastrian flag in there.
I'm happy with it, and we kind of well, I'll come to that in a minute, but. Actually, I'll talk about that because we played a game of Mortimer's Cross from the new book the weekend on Friday, and we didn't use the right retinues at all. But it was a cracking game.
It's all right. You put up that short, and I didn't read it first, and I was sitting there, and I was going, "He wasn't there. He wasn't there. He wasn't." That was my internal livery counter was going. He wasn't even born. No, you
could call that button counting.
Livery count. We'll call it livery count.
Livery counting.
Livery counting.
Livery counting. No, it did look cool. How did it play out? Was it good?
It played out pretty historically, if I'm honest. So it was pretty tough.
The Irish ran away, and the Lancastrians got mown down.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much. But we did enjoy it because we wanted to try out with the new Arrow Storm rules and not have much terrain, just to see, whether that 6 shots would make a huge difference. And it was really interesting. It sort of did, but it sort of didn't. And it was enough of a game where the arrow supply is so crucial now.
Yes, it is.
Knowing when to fire and when not to. And then, you get disordered at long range, everyone stops firing, which is kind of fun.
It was that. So because I've got some pictures from because we found the same thing as well. So we left 3/4 of our table was open. So because we really wanted to see how it would work as well. And the limited arrow supply I liked. I do enjoy the increase because casualties weren't huge, but disorder was. There was a lot of, but that's a reason. So if you've got your drilled troops in the second rank, they can just move through those units without penalty. So that's what you have your second line. You're moving through. So.
It certainly made me think about if we were to do our own battles, what exactly, because this was just the historic one, so it was fairly flat and vanilla. It was just basically retinue and household troops and longbow, and a few kerns. But I think if you were doing it exactly, I'd do the same thing. Have a couple of steadies maybe in the front rank, and then drilled behind to replace. Because and also that whole business about the break test on every 6. When you're rolling 6 dice, statistically you're going to get 1 6, right?
Yeah.
So there's always going to be a break test on the other side, and chances are they're going to retire disordered or non-disordered, and that breaks up the line, which makes it kind of just like it. It really works.
But I do feel that they have got the point, which because I prefer that system in those games to you roll a 6 and it's automatically disordered, which is the pike and shot black powder way of playing, which is you roll a 6 and disordered. In that, it's only if you roll, you have to roll, I think it's a 5 or less to be automatically disordered. A 6 is you can optionally become disordered or retreat in good order. Everything else is you're fine. So but it does represent that, and the psychological effect of all these arrows pinging off of armor, the noise of it and the shock of it, even though it's not actually going to kill that many. There's still, we talk about it quite a lot, but there's that is it Todd's Workshop where he fires 100 shots at some plate armor and one goes in, and even then it's kind of it's a bit of a ricochet because it goes in and then up, I think, into so none of them go through the plate armor. So I'm impressed. Impressed might be the wrong word. I'm not unhappy with it, if that makes sense.
I know. I think it's fair to say we were both a little nervous when we heard about it, but actually I've been very pleasantly surprised. I've really enjoyed it. It hasn't changed the game substantially, but it's changed it enough to make it how it feels it should be right.
definitely more tactical because you could add in things. We spoke about this about adding in resupply wagons, which they did have. They had people running to go and get arrows, or if you're stationed, we were saying in a fort that you don't have, you have unlimited arrow supply, stuff like that, which we thought would be great fun because like, no, we've got to get them out of there because they're just raining down 6 shots a turn.
Or you do a Townsend and you can gather up the arrows and fire them back.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, cool. So, nice one.
So we did that. And also, I actually really I talked about all the Ottomans I've been buying for quite a while, the new Perry stuff. Oh, yeah, new Perry, Harry's. But I finally painted my first unit. There you go.
I can't believe you did that this weekend.
Yeah.
Plus that other unit.
Yeah.
But they're yellow.
Yeah. It was. Do you know what? I found the new. I found a new contrast paint that I'd never used before. It's one of the yellows. I forget
Bad Moon yellow,
something like that, and it's a beautiful color. It works really well. So,
my God, they are awesome. Now, are you going to do all of the units yellow, or are you going to really mix them up and have lots?
I'm going to mix them up like crazy.
Fantastic.
Yeah. They're going to be multicolourful. So, I really. The only thing I'm struggling with, and if anybody knows where to get them, is flags. Or even reference for flags. I know there's Turkish, crescent flag, but I'd like to have a bit more colourful ones. So, any suggestions? Greatly received. So there you go. That's
if you can find the references, but you can't find the flags, I can send you the details of the person who does my flags when I can't find them. But that obviously does involve money. So
money's fine. I don't mind, and I can use various art programs to produce them. I just want to know what they really look like.
Yeah,
what they were good for.
I've
got the earlier period ones. I've got some of those which I might use as a just in case.
Warfare miniatures.
Warfare miniatures. Okay, thanks, Andy.
Well, I just bought some flags. That's League of Augsburg. I just bought some flags from him this week. Funnily enough, and they're lovely. He Barry Hilton even emailed me to ask me how I needed them scaled. Did I want them sort of 30mm, 40mm, or 50mm squares, so that it would actually fit the flagpole of the model that I had, which I thought was really nice. So
that's was an awesome service. I shall check them out. Thank you very much. That's what I've been up to this weekend.
Okay, but do go and check out Dom's stonking update. I think that's what we're getting.
It was a bit of a monster, to be fair. I suddenly realized, because I usually do it every couple of weeks, because that's when I got a decent amount to talk about. And I suddenly realized I had more than I normally have to talk about. It was only a week gone by. So, I thought I'd better do one. Also, I hit 5,000 subs, so thank you.
I was about to say, congratulations. Drink.
Thank you.
Is it just me?
I only got Coke.
We've run out of Coke.
It's that kind of night, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is.
I've got to do some more painting still. I've got to need some Coke.
So for myself, I might as well start. So I did have a game of the new Wars of the Roses supplement with Robin and Matt before Christmas. Was it before Christmas? Was it after Christmas? I can't remember when it was, but we had a game, and we basically, it all hell broke loose. So we actually ended up doing a semi-historical scenario, being that it's a what if, and one of the big what ifs in the War of the Roses, if people are read about it, is when Edward IV landed to reclaim his crown in 1471. He landed a Ravenspur. In Yorkshire. He marched to York and then said, "No, I'm not here for the crown. I just want to be Duke of York again. No, don't attack me." And then he proceeded to kick the snot out of everyone and become king again. So one of the big questions was that John Neville, the Kingmaker's brother, was based at Pontefract, and Edward had to march straight. He did march straight past him, and John Neville never intercepted him. He didn't challenge him. And if he'd have challenged him early, they feasibly could have beaten him. But what happened was Edward went south, got loads of support, and then ended up fighting the Kingmaker and John Neville at Barnet, and they both died. So we played out, well, what if John Neville made up his mind a little bit quicker and actually intercepted Edward on his march south? And the battle we decided would actually take place fairly close to Towton again, because where Pontefract and York is, the sort of the midpoint is just not too far past Towton, so you're kind of in the shadow of that. And yeah, so we played for that, and it did just evolve into a massive melee, which I'm in the middle of editing. But it's okay, Dom, because some of the people there are also dead because I ran out. So
I was just about to say. I mean, the retinues are all wrong, mate. What can I say?
I know. Did you know what? It was really bugging me. I was like, I really don't want to put these two in, but I need this base. So there's a couple of ghosts in there. But no, it was really good, and I'm currently editing that at the moment.
Nice.
So that will be up on the channel soon. But yeah, that was a great deal of fun, and we used all the rules. On the painting front, I've been a bit all over the place.
You've been
really
upscaling, haven't you, on your painting?
Yeah, it's well, I'll show you. So I've been adding more medieval buildings. So here's another one that I've painted up, another small one just to kind of click onto the end. These ones are so cheap to produce, it's ridiculous. So I just keep on printing them off, painting them up. So it's just another small one to add on. And then I painted up that thing, whatever the hell
that
it
one.
is.
Yeah, lovely.
That thing as well. But I sort of thought I'd keep it in the same sort of scheme as that building, just so I quite like it as a guard post. What I'd really like at some point is a town gate, and I think that would be quite good as a little guard post near the town gate, for the sentries or whatever to hang around in. Because we played our game of Ruckus, I thought that'd also be quite good as like a little sort of base for the French or the English to be operating out. There's no point in them going up in the town and shooting at anything because no sod can hit anything. So,
well, your lot obviously had, I don't know what they'd done to their bowstrings. Jeez.
38 times I rolled to hit, 3 times I hit.
I felt embarrassed for you. I was watching that as you played it out on YouTube or live on the premiere, and I thought, oh my god, it was just I started off laughing and then I was just grimacing. I thought, oh my god.
I just accepted it. Rolling the dice for the shooting in the end just became a sort of a matter of course, of course. But then my guys got into hand-to-hand combat and it was a different story, which is what they were not meant to be very good at. But yeah, that was a really, really fun. So I did those medieval buildings, and then I painted up some Natal native contingent because,
like you do,
nice.
Did so. But I based these up differently to the Zulus because I've got the Zulus on because they're for black powder and the way I like to do them as well. So not just for black powder, they're kind of like on a warband basing. So I use deep bases and put like 8 models on a base, and I have them going quite far back. But because these guys were still split into companies, but they had white officers or like Boer officers. They still had like a certain number they had to be in companies, so I decided to put them in the same system of basing as I have for the rest of the British, because in my head that made sense, which is sort of like a bit different to how they've got in there. So I should get a whole other unit out of that box. But yeah, they were fun to play. Apart from the red headbands and the shields, they've all been done with the AK pens.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, I'm just experimenting with the pens to do some epic pike and shot, and it works really well.
Certain things they are limited at, definitely, but once you get to know those limitations, you can really speed through them. I did these in an evening, essentially. I was quite pleased. I've got to say, not the biggest fan of those sculpts, I've got to say, yeah, they'll do, and I've got another unit to put together.
Are they the warlord ones?
Yes.
Yeah, they all like they're having some kind of episode. They've had too much sugar or something. They're all over the place. Like
they're the descendants of the Gauls. So everyone, the common complaint about the Gauls, the warlord Gauls, is the breakdancing stances.
Yeah,
this is sort of the next evolution of that. And there's some really, really good stuff in there, and I really like it. But it's just 1 or 2, and I know which ones they are now, so I'm just going to leave them off. Which just like no matter what I did to them, they're in the back basically. And it's like, can you see the guy with the club in the middle at the back? It basically looks like he's sort of crouching on the toilet. His legs, like I'm not quite sure what he's meant. I think maybe he's meant to be sort of, springing, into action, but it just kind of looks like someone needs to get him a chair to sit down. So we go from that to something completely different and new, which was this, which I've just painted up.
Oh, no.
Just like you do.
So actually do. So that is my first unit for the Russians for the Great Northern War, which was a lot of fun to work on. And I rocketed through these, to be honest. I kind of went back to the way I used to paint my French and British for Napoleonic. So there's very little contrast paints on there. I've just gone and you sort of just gone back to the way I sort of rattled through the old ones. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And those are the flags from Warfare. Actually, I've got a better photo. Yeah, so they're decent. Nice. They're decent flags. But those are all prints. They're from Battle Camp Miniatures, who did a whole Great Northern War campaign. So I've got a lot of them. Which and I've just got to say, like, because I bought the initial infantry pack as a bit of an experiment, and it's one of those things where the advert for the models did not do it justice, because I thought there was about 9 models. There wasn't. There was about 40 different things, separate heads. You could print them as unipose, Dom, if you wanted. It's just heads that you glue on. So you can, or you can do them all separate. There's there's drummer, there's a charging drummer, a standing drummer, a marching drummer. There's a standing officer, a marching. So there's loads of combinations. And because something that was at this period that happened quite a lot, mostly with the Swedish armies, there's people charging with pikes actually leveled and legging it at people, which was the Swedish way of doing things. I understand was to get as close as you could and then charge with a pike in one hand and an axe in the other, or something like that. Because
that would make people pause, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, it definitely would. But yeah, I'm really pleased with these. Researching Russian uniforms and Russian flags from 1709 is a bit of a bastard. So I've done those, and I'm about halfway through my next unit.
What's the plan with that? Is are you going to do all the Russians, or are you going to do both sides, or?
Without spoiling anything, Robin, I don't think it's going to spoil.
Does he know yet?
Oh no, he knows. He's bought more than me. So Robin is currently working on Saxony, who were allied with the Russians, but they also fought them as much as they. This is another reason why I like the Great Northern War, in terms of, is again, everyone's a bastard. They all, everyone kind of ganged up on. I think everyone ganged up on Sweden. Sweden have been kicking their ass for 100 years.
I say they're kicking the snot out of most of them.
And most of their plans revolved around losing. So but once
I see why you want this army.
Yes, I'm not good. Once Sweden was out of the picture, or certainly after they were reduced in power, they all just started squabbling amongst themselves. The Ottomans are in it, Polish, Lithuanian Commonwealth, Saxony. There's obviously the Russians. There's other bits and bobs as well, and Denmark, Finland, they're all involved. So I just think it's a good period. So currently what I'm doing is I'm working on the Russians, he's working on the Saxons, and then I think we decided between us we're going to do the Swedes. So it's this is the fairly big one that's going to be going in the background, because the Zulu project is actually pretty, apart from just always needing to paint Zulus, I'm very near the end of completing the British. I only need to do about 3 more units, and I've got my British force done. Nice. But yes, that's sort of what I've been working on. So yeah, it's cool.
It's nice to have something new to get involved in.
Yeah,
different.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's it has been. I've been surprised at how quickly I've gotten into it, because it's something I've always been interested in. There's some brilliant, Steve, there's some brilliant blogs. There's some great books. I picked up some really nice. The Hellion stuff on it is really, really nice. There's loads of stuff now, and potentially we're looking at playing Beneath the Lily Banners as well, because it's on its 3rd edition, but they're bringing out the 4th edition this year. and there is a really nice Great Northern War supplement for it. And it's a system that I've seen played a lot at conventions. We saw that massive game being played at Warfare, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
In the corner, and it's something that looked very, very cool. So yeah, always be, you know. Oh, you see, this is the other thing is I don't know whether to use black powder or pike and shot, because again, it's right at the cusp, a bit like how the Wars of the Roses is that cusp between the transition to pike and shot. This is at the transition to black powder. So yeah, there we go. There we go, Joe. So I thought you might. Well, you're all right. Excellent. So there we go. That killed nearly an hour, didn't it? Right. So anyway. Right, let's have an argument. So
no, we're not.
We are. We're going to argue about this.
I don't think we're going to argue. I think it's. But okay, so I wanted to put together what are the quintessential 28mm historical sets and kits for certain periods. What do I mean by quintessential? By quintessential, I don't mean the best. What I mean is for that army or period, what troop type or what unit do you need to be a quintessential part of the army? Yes, it's really nice to have the Red Lancers in your Napoleonic army, but you need line infantry, right? You know, or you know, it's really nice to have I don't know, the SAS if you're doing like Britain in World War II, but they're not the quintessential. But then once we know we've agreed on what that quintessential unit is, whether that's a tank or a unit of people, or even maybe a building. Who then do we think, or this is where the argument will happen, makes the kit that, you know, not necessarily the best kit, because we all know that some models are really nice, but which kit do you think, I don't know, say is the most okay, well, yeah, which kit would you buy?
It's the one we buy, isn't it? Let's be
that
honest.
one. So we've got we have a whole bunch of categories. Well, we have 5, and I'm very, very sorry to the people that love ancients, but last time I got told off for leaving out the American Civil War. So I've put the American Civil War in at the cost of ancient warfare. I know, but it had to happen. It was the will of the gods. It was their fault, right? I'm just uploading these as long as it doesn't. So let's start with one, which I'm sure we could all get our teeth into. Now, you'd think that, you know, Steve wouldn't have that much to say about this, but he's turniped enough of them that I'm sure he could. So let's chat Napoleonic French. Napoleonic French. Now, it doesn't have to be limited to early, mid, or late war, but in the French Napoleonic army, what is the quintessential unit or purchase for that army? Is it would you say, is it line infantry? Is it chasseurs de cheval? Is it the old guard? What do you think? Let's start with our French ultramarine himself, Ken. What do you think? What is the quintessential
line infantry
unit?
Line infantry.
Just bog standard line infantry, yeah?
Bog standard line infantry.
Standard line infantry.
It's got to be, because also the beauty of that is you can make them light infantry because they're pretty much the same. So there you go.
Yeah. There we go. Steve. Who do you prefer?
Well, being a paragon of
you are the expert on.
I am the expert on all things Napoleonic French. No, I'm not. I haven't got a bloody clue. I mean, I would probably say, like Ken, like line infantry. That's the majority of your fodder, really, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I go for line infantry. You can't. Yeah.
I mean, the beauty of starting with it line infantry, as I say, you can do some lights, but also with the French being the core of the very similar looking troop types, you can then do some of the Allied forces with them. So if you get bored painting the bloody blue and white, you can do a different colours scheme, can't you? Do some of the Allies.
Yep.
Mm.
So it's all works nicely in my book. Plus, you've got something to kill with your 95th. It's perfect.
Someone's Shaco put casualties. Now.
Yeah.
Can I just say, if you are thinking of picking up French line infantry to turnip or turn into something else. The chaps in the greatcoats are the best ones.
Well, you
don't have to paint all that gaudy lace crap. You've just got the coats, and you can stick skulls and all kinds of heads onto it. It just works.
You can do that. You can do that if it's Napoleon. You can stick some skulls on them if you want. You can.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So I think that was fairly easy. I thought that one would come out. Okay, so the line infantry. So now here's the question: whose line infantry offering it would be your go-to? So now I'll put mine in. I would actually go with the Warlord greatcoat box myself. The main reason is I think, well, because I know how quick they are to knock out. The Perry box is fantastic, but there is a load of people in just their field uniforms in there as well, and they are slow. Whereas those Warlord ones you can knock out really quickly. They're useful, as you've already said, for a whole range. And if you were being lazy like I was originally, you could just do the entire army with those of your line infantry anyway, with those, and it would look good. What do you think? So I love the Perry set. I do love the Perry set, but I think
ease of painting, definitely you'd go with anything in greatcoats because you can work them out really quickly. But are you talking about the best looking figures?
I think you're wrong, Martin. I think you're wrong.
You think I'm wrong?
I think you're wrong. I think our friends over at Piano Miniatures.
I was going to say the same thing.
But I said because someone said that. I think Piano Miniatures, but they're for ease of getting hold of Warlord are a lot easier to get hold of. If you were doing a French army, they're easier to get hold of.
You can 3D print them. You can print them.
You can 3D print them. But again, you didn't need a printer. Whereas Warlord, you could just...
Agreed. But I'd still say Piano Miniatures just because you've got the greatcoat option and you've got the option for battle dress as well. So
you got that with Perry. Perry are easier to get hold of.
But the Piano Miniatures ones are very, very crisp. They are very nice.
They are. My argument would be, while I agree and I like the Piano Miniatures a lot, I really do. You need a printer, or you need to know someone who does print. You've then got to wait. You also got to accept failures, and you've got to. If you've not printed before and you were buying your printer just to do it, you're gonna have to. It's a steep. Whereas with Warlords, you just go and buy a box, and you're done. Yeah. Which is the argument against 3D printing anyway, which I appreciate. What do you think, Steve? What would be your chosen box?
Well, I am an equal abuser of Napoleonic kits, as people know, and it's the best way to do stuff with them. But the Warlord games and greatcoats for me, I have destroyed many of them, and they're brilliant. I don't mind destroying them. Like I say, they're low on the gaudy stuff.
Yeah.
And they just look very. Take off the heads, stick some tuft to put some decent heads on. They look turnipy with those coats on. Yeah. I'd go for Warlord greatcoats.
Remember when they were a pound a sprue in the sprue sale, original sprue sale?
Yeah,
the ultimate regret not buying 50,000 sprues of those.
Another one that's worth a shout is Front Rank. Their battalion sets are
pretty good value, aren't they?
Are good value. Doesn't just have to be plastic. The metal models. We covered the 3D print ones, and Front Rank do some really nice stuff, especially on the battalion sets. So my vote's for Warlord. Steve votes for Warlord. Ken's voting Piano.
Yep.
What do you reckon, Dom?
I mean, I love the Front Rank, but I'm thinking purely on you're going to need a shit ton of them. The Warlord ones are going to be cheaper to do, and they are quick to assemble, so they get around my absolute loathing of anything like that. So yeah, I would go with that. Although I think the one I've always banged the drum on about is Offensive Miniatures do some really nice ones as well.
They do.
Really nice.
They absolutely do. And this is the thing. You know, we're not saying don't go and buy these. I was just wondering what kit. If someone said I'm going to get Napoleonic French, I want to test them out. I'd say go buy a box of Warlord.
Yeah,
that's what I would say to someone. I would
don't buy Victrix ones.
God. Oh God, fine. You just stick it ahead on.
Yeah, the old guard are fine, but not the standard infantry. Jeez, no.
Yeah. No. Whereas, you know, if someone came up to you and said, I've done 2-3 brigades now and I've just filled them out with these borrowed models, where could I go somewhere else? I say, well, look at, why don't you try something like, Victrix or Piano, and now start filling up. If someone was like, I want to see if I like it, go buy some these. Which is why I guess they give it away with War Games Illustrated. All right, that one was easy. Let's do another one, and then we'll do the news, and then we'll carry on. So, which one should we do next? Okay, I'll let you guys argue. This is Steve. This is your time to shine. World War II Germans. What is the Now, this could include tank. Is a Panzer IV quintessential to any German force? More quintessential than, say, I don't know, like a grenadier company or whatever.
No, I think it's sort of the same with the Napoleonics. You're going to need something to fill out those, your core units. I'd just say grenadiers. That's it. Just
grenadiers.
Infantry. There we go.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that the half track is quite a quintessential, because they got to get those grenadiers up up the field, and I can't think of many games where I don't see half tracks.
The thing about any of these is you've got to build it mechanically, haven't you? Start with like a platoon of infantry if you're doing something like bolt action, and then you add half track probably, or a Stug. A Stug is just absolutely essential for me.
Yeah, for me.
There you go. Yeah.
If we're talking quintessential, a Stug 3, such an iconic German weapon of war.
Oh, okay.
I think. And I love Stugs. There's something
I had forgotten the Stug. To be fair,
they don't say Stug life for nothing.
They don't. Stug is essential. Yeah. I would put that above a Panzer IV.
Yeah. But could that be because the German? There are a lot of. If we take bolt action, for example, but I know Chain of Command and all the other games I agree. There are a lot of optional. There's a lot of different German forces that you can field, which where the infantry is going to change up, whereas the armor doesn't necessarily. Would you say that the Stug is almost could work in any? I don't want to use the term list, but any army, any force, a Stug would find a place in it.
Well, especially with bolt action 3rd edition with armor platoons now. I mean, you could take 3 if you wanted to. The points are down. You can take platoons full of them. Absolutely. As long as they're historical.
Okay. So I think a lot of people are agreeing with the Stug here. Steve, you're saying the Stug. Dom, are you saying the Stug?
I am actually, mate. Yeah, I just love a Stug. I think it's a real good vehicle.
Ken, you've got something controversial normally to add. What are you throwing in?
I would probably say a MG42 heavy machine gun team. I think a lot of German infantry, obviously the MG34 early war, 42. I would say MG42 machine gun team, heavy machine gun.
Have you got? Is there a personal favorite kit you've got that's
yes?
That you like
oh my god, it's completely gone from my brain. They're metal. Oh my god, not offensive miniatures. Oh my
offensive
god,
do a very good one. But...
Is it offensive? Yeah, it is offensive miniatures. Yeah, it is offensive miniatures.
Love a shout for offensive.
Yeah, it is.
Underappreciated.
They're machine guns, not the flimsy stuff. They're one whole piece, which is lovely.
So, This begs the question, and I think I know what's going to happen now. I think I know what's going to. Robin says 2025 is weird. He agrees with Ken. Okay, Dom and Steve, which kit for the Stug then? If we're going to say that the Stug is the, no matter what you're doing with the Germans, you need a Stug. Yeah, go on. Who's going to say it? Steve, what's your vote? Who's Stug? Are you pimping? Or pimping? Are you backing?
Not a Rubicon.
You'd rather use a brick and call it a Stug, wouldn't you?
I would.
I've only got one 28mm Stug, and that's the Warlord Games one. But what I remember is that it didn't make me swear, which is a good benchmark, considering you can add shirts into it and they're held on by, like, seriously, the things that they're connected to that the main hull is like the width of a gnat's pube. It's so small and just delicate, and it's the slightest sneeze and it flies off. So I would say, yeah, if you want, I mean, the Stug the Rubicon Stug does look lovely, and it's probably got interiors and pedals and ashtrays and individual knobs for the radio. It's probably got all kinds of stuff. But if you just want a good solid kit that's going to take no time to put together, the Warlord Stug, can't go wrong with that.
You can, because the tracks are a pain in the ass.
Do you know what I would do? I would go along to is it Paint and Glue? He does a really nice 3D. He does virtually every variety of Stug.
I was going to ask, is that because you got yours printed, didn't you?
I've got both, to be absolutely honest. I've got 3D printed ones, and I've also got Warlord ones. And I agree with Steve. It wasn't awful to put together, but actually, it was okay. But 3D printed, because it is just a box at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is. It's
not like it has to have a huge amount of detail. And by the time you've shoved a bit of extra, oh bloody hell!
Old School says he's an all-metal kit cost by battle orders, and it's a kilo of lead. Digger just Airfix.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, there you go. Airfix, good option. Anything that's simple, you know me. I'm a simple person. Anything that's simple.
Can I just
so you chose to do Ottomans?
Yeah, I do have a bit of a relapse every so often.
Can I add a second one? Because earlier I did mention, I mentioned infantry. The one sort of kit that I would recommend would probably be, again, Warlord Games, is their German Grenadier box. Mainly because it's mid and late war, but it's compatible with so many other different kits. You may have sort of no sprues lying around. It goes really well with the American US Marine kit, the plastic one. You can switch up between the Deutsche Afrika Korps and the German Grenadier box. They go together really well. I
think this is what I was going to say. I think if anyone can prove like how versatile the kits are, it's you.
That's true.
Is Ken behind his microphone, or is he actually just?
No, he is behind his microphone. There you go.
Oh yes, there you go.
That's horrifying. Another one. I'll tell you another a kit that I really like, but people I don't think are using particularly that much, other than for 0200, is the War Games Atlantic Germans. I have painted up like Germans before, and despite my bitching about World War II gaming, I have painted them up, and I really enjoyed the War Games Atlantic ones. I really like I just found them a very different kit, because quite a few of the poses are relaxed, whereas most the other sets, understandably, are action poses.
Yeah,
they're fire, they're shooting, firing, ducking, reloading, whereas those ones are having a cigarette, just walking. Standing at ease, and they're not fun.
Yeah, they're not festooned with with equipment either.
No, it's not going to be much good for your army, though. If that's fine for a skirmish game, isn't it? But but yeah, a bit of character like that.
I mean, I'd say bolt action is a skirmish game, but we'll move on. So we've got a few more to go through after the news, including the ACW. But let's do some news. It's not been a particularly busy week, but let's find the horrible. There it is. Are you ready? Here it is.
Always start.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to shoot. It's been really good coming back on. I've got to go and sort something out. But I will definitely be back on in 2 weeks' time, guys. Hopefully the whole night this time.
Excellent.
Cool.
Oh, it's been lovely having you back.
No worries at all. It's been great. So
Lovely.
I'll see you guys later, yeah? Take care.
You will. See
Bye.
you later.
And with that, he's gone.
And now it's buggers up the thing. Now I'm Steve and me.
Uh,
Oh, he's back.
Steve.
No, go away.
Gordon Bennett. He's gone.
He's going to come back, isn't he? He's going to do that thing where he just comes back. It's like Pennywise coming back in. Anyway. You turned your microphone off. Can't hear you. You can't even troll properly. He's left his camera on.
Yeah, yes.
You can't see. You guys can't see this, but we can see. Now he's turned it off.
No, he's gone.
Is he allowed to do that?
Oh dear.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
Ooh.
Right.
Let one see
Tom, what have you found on your travels on the internet?
Well, as you say, there doesn't seem to be an awful lot, if I'm honest. I did see this thing about the armies of the United States for bolt action.
Oh, yes.
So the pre-order is now the 31st of January. That's gone back, I think, from when it was originally supposed to be. So that's, as I understand it, Steve, all these new books are consolidating all the different bits from all the different scenario books that were in version 2, aren't they, into one. So
well, it's interesting because I was talking to my mate about it because we've both got USMC. We've both got Kit Bash dog teams as well. War dog teams, and then they're not featured in sort of the standard rule book. So hopefully, we'll get those special rules for that unit in this book.
There we go. Martin's really excited about
I'm pleased. I'm pleased for you. What's this?
that. There's also a number of like you said, Steve. There's a lot more vehicles in the new rules, and also lot more officers.
Yes.
So Warlord have started to produce a lot more officer packs to deal with that. So there's American officers. I think there's also some German ones coming out on pre-order as well. You've got the Nobelwerfer or whatever it's called up there that's coming out. And then I do like this Beetle, although how much do you think that Beetle is? Bear in mind, it's just a shell of a thing.
Yeah.
How much do you reckon that? Martin, what would you pay? I mean, you wouldn't, but what would you
for
pay
that?
For yeah.
Maybe £7.50.
Yeah, you're dreaming. 20 quid for that. 20 quid
for just that.
Just that.
Or does it come with everything else?
Just that.
Just
the vehicle.
Is it resin? It's a transport vehicle for 20 quid.
Yeah. It looks resin. Is it just a lump of resin?
I'm sure it is just resin. Yeah.
Wow. So it is.
Wow. So there you go. So anyway, if you want to pre-order a 20 quid VW, you can probably buy second-hand ones somewhere for that anyway, for real. So that's that. Also, I posted these up on the Facebook page, but just our friends at War Bases.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Doing this giveaway that they do every year. And it's absolutely fantastic. So if you are struggling and you need a bit of help, you want some bases, they will send you free of charge, gratis, a number of bases, up to 15 bases, if you wish.
Yes. Glenn did email
only UK, I'm afraid.
We've got something to read out. He did email us. He said, God, there's so many emails. Come on. Yeah, so, sorry, you say, so his 15 bases are 100 grams, whichever they hit first. It's only available for 2 mil and 3 mil bases and only available to each person once, and then will end on the 31st of January. I thought there was more than that. Okay, so that was email.
That was
email.
That says, mate.
Yeah, sorry about that, Glenn. Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. So I mean, they started doing this during lockdown, I think, from what I remember, and they've done it pretty much every year since. So well done, Warbases. Great initiative. So grab them while you can. And then the other thing, which is, I don't know how many people will be going to Salute, but if you are, their painting competition has opened for entry. So I know Paul is talking about if the trip down from Scotland isn't too much, he's planning to enter it, and I imagine there's 1 or 2 others as well. But that's becoming quite a big thing in the painting calendar, I believe, as competitions go. So there you go. That's what I saw.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Okie dokie. Right then, let me have a look. Okay, I've seen a few of these. So Lucid Eye have got some new sets for their Elf King models. So these are all metal. Now I know that a lot of people have been using these, especially with the release of Midgard. So these are a slightly different take on elves. These are sort of more sort of Norse. There's nothing particularly what's the word is like ethereal or ethereal about these guys. They just look like big guys with swords and big ladies with swords as well, actually. But they do look very cool. But they also do some historicals. So they've done some Samnites as well.
Oh yeah, I did see these,
which are really nice. So those are very cool.
Very
and
good.
I particularly like these ones as well. Now, Steve, we like a bit of War Machine, don't we?
Oh, we do.
So here is the latest offering for Signar. Now, this is called the Maelstrom. Okay, now this is up for pre-order for. Now this is a big mech. I think this is good.
It's gonna be a stonker, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Now you just did that to me, Dom, with that car. Dom, how much do you think that is?
Who produces it?
Now Steamforged Games. It's a mixture of resin and plastic, I believe.
And how big is it?
About 9 inches.
75 quid.
It's 120 of your pounds.
Oh bugger! I was so close.
But you could buy 6 of those cars, or that. Interesting, isn't it?
Wow.
So yeah, that's what I saw. So not
very quiet at the moment.
I have just been reminded, actually. Sorry, I forgot about this. So the reason that I didn't get a lot of painting done is because I spent a long time painting the house. And my darling wife has just sent me that because I was very sad painting the hallway at like 12 at night on. I think that was it. I think
definitely missed
Friday.
It there, mate.
Yeah, well, look at her. She created a weapon for herself with the bloody.
Well, she's got to keep you working.
Staff of bloody power. I hate that pissing thing. But
couldn't you've used some AK pens?
Do you know what? Right, there was a mark on the wall, and I knew she was going to see it, and I did consider just going and getting a pen and colouring it in. So she did it. I mean, we did, because we were painting all of last week in the evenings after work till midnight, and then we got rid of the kids at the weekend to the in-laws, and I was painting on Friday till midnight, Saturday from 9 a.m. till 1 a.m. And then yesterday from really early till about 3. It's all done. It's all very nice, but yeah, because we live in a townhouse and because we're doing the hallways and the stairs, there's twice as much than normal. So yes,
mate, I feel for you there. I really feel for you.
Yeah. So actually, that's a good point. Can I put that on the OPC? Can I get some points for that? Oh man,
you probably only get 10 points though, because it's a piece of terrain.
True. Excellent. Right. Well, that's the news. Of course, just a reminder: go check out Boars and Swords if you want any of the lovelies that we're talking about tonight, or the other stuff. Let's move on to. Let's just do it now. We might as well. We're going in sort of in some kind of weird order here. Let's talk about the American Civil War. Now, I I have a feeling that everyone's just going to say Perry for this. But what is? I mean, I'm going to get shouted at here, aren't I? The troop types for the American Civil War. What would you say is the quintessential unit? Is just again, we're talking about regular infantry, right?
Yeah, really. I mean, it's you've got to start there, haven't you? I mean, I think the beauty or otherwise of American Civil War is the simplicity and the restricted number of actual unit styles there are. So really, if you buy like the new that Perry box, which basically covers both sides,
you apparently just need James Longstreet.
Okay,
just
fair
Longstreet.
enough. But if you buy the Perry plastic sets, they do both sides. You can use them for Confederates and Union troops, and then you can just buy a box of Zouaves, which I guess they're fairly quintessential for the period as a box.
Yeah,
well, certainly for the early period anyway. So the Zouaves just adds a bit of spice and color, but really, some infantry, a unit of Zouaves, maybe some cavalry and some guns, and you're pretty much done for the whole thing.
And
it's
then
great.
Just copy and repeat.
Yeah, basically rinse and repeat over and over again. And really, I think if you're talking plastic sets, there is only, I think, the Perrys that you can choose.
First, if we expand that out into metals and that as well, First Corps makes some.
First Corps makes some really nice ones. And also they do lots of flipperies around the edge, sort of extra bits and bobs like camp scenes and various other things, horse holders and stuff that you don't essentially need, but add a lot of difference to add a bit of colour.
I was going to say, for quintessential American Civil War, I'd go for beards. Or
someone just said
some form of facial hair. Whenever I watch an American Civil War documentary, I am fascinated by the face fuzz on show. Was that like a secondary thing? Got uniform? Yeah. Cool. Got your beard? Oh, yes. I've got my beard.
Yeah.
I mean, see, this isn't quintessential, but what about an ironclad? I see so many games where people they always got, we're just going to put some water on this side of the board just so we can have our ironclad. Everyone, have you gone and bought one yet, Dom? You were on about it.
Not yet. No, I kind of like the idea though, because I mean a lot of campaigns did take place down rivers, so actually having that involved. What was the game? Was it Nick that put one on the track? Yeah. Had an amazing. I mean, I saw that and I thought I've got to have one of those because that was just brilliant, and he put lights in it and all sorts. So yeah, I mean that works. I think. I think definitely. I think the one I would definitely change though. I mean, so the Perrys do brilliant plastics. So to bulk out your army plastics, bit of First Corps to supplement that because there's some really nice ones. Some of the Perry metals are excellent. But if you want artillery, I'd go with the new Warlord resin ones because they are the dog's doodahs. I really like them. I'm not sure about the infantry; they look a little bit willowy, but I haven't got any. But so I can't 100% say so. But
how
artillery?
Are the artillery a single? Is they come in a single pack? Sorry, do you get one gun or is it?
You get three guns in a box.
See, why the hell Warlord games? Do you not do that for the Napoleonics? They do it for every other period. They do it for the pike and shot. It has that amazing gun battery, doesn't it? Yeah. You got there's that awesome deal where you get all the gun battery, you get all the
with the emplacement,
Gabions, the emplacement, you get a commander. Robin's just bought the 70, for the Marlborough stuff because it works for Great Northern War. You get 3 guns in that as well. They're plastic. Then ACW, you've got that, but no, for Napoleonics, it's just single guns. Unless you did what I did.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
I bought the Grand Battery deal, which had like 8 guns, and they're all metal, and they're all old guard. Which just weirdly never come up in any battle report. You think with all the button counting comments that we get, no one's ever pointed out that every single gun in my army is guard, not it's
I'm going to now. Next time, I'm going to do
absolutely. But yeah, sorry, just I think
you're right. I mean, it is bizarre why they do that, and I think, although for me it's a little bit annoying because My batteries is generally 2. Good shout. Paul.
Redoubt. Yeah.
Very good. Generally my batteries are 2, so it's 3. Means you have to buy 2 boxes or buy something to go with it, which is a bit.
We just got to say hello to Pierre, who's finally catching a live one from France. Hello.
Hey,
Welcome.
Hey, Pierre.
Welcome. We're arguing about the American Civil War.
Just watch out for the 95th, Pierre. Just watch it. Duck. So I think that works well. What's the other one I was about to say? I can't remember now. With geez, no, it's gone. What's the ACW? Oh, I know. Honourable mention, Crusader. Really good cavalry.
Yeah.
Really good cavalry.
Andy, behave. He says limbers. Limbers are a quintessential. Limbers are the essential.
Yeah, but they may be, Andy, but they're a faff and a half for paint. So yeah, I think the beauty. I mean, that is one of those periods, and people always go, why do the Brits or why do non-Americans like American Civil War? I think a lot of it is the simplicity of the troop types. It's so easy to build up an army quickly. It's great. I really like it. I've gone crazy with that.
So we're basically just saying Perry, yeah?
I think it's got to be Perry.
With honourable... I mean, that's the thing, because, again, build your force. We'd build our forces out with that and then supplement it with lots of nice other bits. Right. Let's...
The law is Perry and the Perry is the law.
Yeah. This one could be interesting. Now, we've all done a bit of this. Now, this covers probably the largest period of time. The Dark Ages / early medieval period, because so much of it is interchangeable. Now, I didn't say all Vikings or Normans, because so much of the armor and the kits are usable across different armies. And a lot of us, with the release of Midgard and the Once and Future King, you've got the basically everything from that, Rome, the just after Rome leaves, all the way up to essentially 1066. What do we think the quintessential unit is here? Now, obviously, these armies are predominantly infantry, so we can't just say infantry. But what are they? Would you say is it heavy? Is it the heavy infantry, the shield wall troops? Is it light cavalry, or is it characters for this? What do you think?
I'm going to go with, having painted Vikings recently and knowing how I wanted them to look. I'm going to go with anything that can give you a decent shield wall. For me, I think that's sort of an iconic look.
Did you say we were heading into the medieval period, or are we just sticking to the Dark Ages?
No, it ends in...
Put your archaeology hat away for the minute, please.
No, it ends in 1066.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's got to be war bands then, hasn't it? War bands and shield walls has got to be the thing. That's the common theme in most of that period army, is the large groups of men with helmets and shields and generally spears or axes, and they line up and smash them.
I would say, the sort of every force, has their equivalent of like the Hussars. You've got like you have you got, I can't see, my mind's just gone blank, but you have the Viking version, you've got the Saxon version. Even when you're looking at things like the early Saxons as well, you've got their elite core units, and those are obviously, I would say those to me are quintessential, really, because you build your in this, the very much that heroic leadership comes through, right? So your general need that elite unit, you need your bodyguard around your general. So in this one, I wouldn't actually say it's the regular infantry, but for me it's the elite unit, because you always take it. And the other one you just kind of build up because there's so many people that make them. But I again, as you say, those shield wall units are,
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I mean, if you were fielding a battle and it was just entirely Hussars, it would be surrounded and killed by the Fjord eventually.
Oh yeah, I know. I just said which is the quintessential, not which is
right.
so you're it's a bit like saying the Stug. You're not going to take a whole field of Stugs, are you? But
I would.
But the Vikings are going to take their berserkers or their heavily armored guys in the middle. The Saxons will take the guys with the Dane axes. They'll but I mean, I think
on
I
the
know
same
what...
token, could you argue characters? Because one of the things about that period is, like Midgard picks up on, is it's all about the heroes, right? It's all about them going in and
Halfguard. That's it. Thank you, Halfguard. And
Halfguard,
that's what I was looking for. No, absolutely. Why I would really see Victrix. As far as I'm aware, the only multi-part character set for historicals that I can think of, which is purely characters, is the Roman commander set that Victrix make. Don't they? They make a Roman commander one. Everything else, you just kind of get a command sprue and you kit bash and convert and all of that. But it would be nice.
Well, okay, so and go and buy metals. That's the better way.
Yes. Yeah. That's the other. That is definitely the other way. Someone said Digger said shield maidens.
Dirty man.
Yeah. I mean, funny enough though, having said what I said there, for me the best box is I like the gripping beast boxes, the plastics. I really like them for how simple and versatile they are, and also the Victrix heads fit them, as Robin found out. So they do the job. They're not, some of the poses aren't the most exciting, but I don't need a PhD to stick them together, which is quite nice.
That's a big win.
What do you think, Steve? Because I know you're working with Victrix at the minute, aren't you?
It's taken me a while to get around to working with Victrix figures. I've done a few in the past, done some medieval stuff. I've ruined some Napoleonics for Turnip 28. But recently, I've been working on these Vikings, and I've got the Dark Ages sort of light infantry, so the archers and the slingers.
Yeah,
I've been mightily impressed with them. The level of detail, what you actually get for your money, is you get tons of stuff. They go together really easily. They're compatible with all the Victrix kits. They look ace. I just love them. I just really, really love them.
Just a funny side note. I was watching, Peachy. He does the Peachy. He was he just did a video where he was looking at, should you buy the new Rohan models or get some of the Victrix Saxons or Vikings, whatever, and paint them up. And they actually worked out cost per model, and when you actually sort of like work out the equivalent, because you get more with Victrix, but they cost more than the set. They actually worked out pretty similar in cost to a GW model. It was quite interesting. Or that set anyway. That doesn't mean anything, because a Dreadnought's still going to cost you a fucking But I just thought that was
interesting, isn't it? Because you assume that they're all cheaper.
But you get them in a large quantity, though. I mean, what is the average Victrix thing now? About 36 quid, isn't it?
Yeah, around about that. Yeah.
So yeah, and then some of them you only get like 24 models.
Yeah, that one where the second one I bought recently with the archers and the slingers and light infantry, you get 24 in that.
Yeah, I was surprised with the slightly different side again, but with some of the new War Games Atlantic plastic sets, and you think you're getting a real bargain, and they are. But they work out £1 a figure, which I don't know. I remember when metals were £1 a figure. I thought of playing plastic. Paying for plastic of £1 a figure just seems a bit much, really. But
I have seen that. I don't know if something's changed with the way Victrix are making their models, but Steve, I don't know. This doesn't mean to sound patronising at all. But because if you're only just started working on them, you didn't suffer the snapping spears.
I've heard utter horror stories.
That doesn't seem to be as big a problem in the more recent stuff.
I haven't found that at all. I've been working on those new or the Romano British type ones and the Saxons, and I genuinely haven't had an issue.
Well, they're quite new though. I'm on about like the Normans, where you just snip them and they go. They would just snap.
Even fat fingered me. I didn't have an issue with them, to be fair.
It's weird, isn't it? A good shout. War Games Atlantic have their Decline and Fall sort of Dark Age, early medieval range, don't they? Steve, you've got some of those, haven't you? Don't you?
Yeah, it's been a while since I painted them. I've painted some late Roman British. They were rather nice.
How were they? What were they? How were they to put together and sort of deal with?
From memory, I really enjoyed them. Again, I always gauge how much I swear with how easy a kit is to put together. And I don't remember having any freakouts putting them together, and they look really good as well. I really did enjoy painting them.
Dave Benton says if we do insist on 28mm, should we expect to charge for? I don't think 36 quid's a fortune. I was just pointing out the
no, I don't think it's a fortune either.
Not for what you get. At the end of the day, it's a luxury, really, isn't it? What we do. Okay, this one I thought might be hard because it's quite mixed. But Victrix do make very nice sets, but they're very, what's the right word? Quite rightly, they're not very interchangeable with each other. I don't know. Is that fair?
With each other in the same other Victrix sets, or other manufacturers.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried popping some bits together because you get like shorter arms and because I do find that frustrating when that happens. I have to say. I mean, I'm not a delight. I don't enjoy putting together models very much anyway. But if it's limited on what you can do with them, like if you're gonna limit what you can, which arms you can use, why bother making them multi-part? In my view.
Yeah, I mean, jumping forward a couple of centuries. I've seen a couple of people mention it recently about the Rubicon US Marine box. There's a pose in there of a guy throwing a grenade, and you cannot use that pose with anything else in that box, which is a shame, really, because it's a great box, and I love that kit so much. But it's just a shame that there's what I mean. I suppose if you did a lot of cutting and super gluing and you could change that pose, but from straight out of the box, all you can have is the dude throwing a grenade.
So I'm not, as you know, I hate assembling models, and if it was a one-piece thing, I'd be mightily pleased with that. But that said, I've been working with these new War Games at a different period, but War Games Atlantic peasants, and also I did get sent a box of the foot sergeants, and I've been assembling those. And what I love about them is the fact you can just swap around bits.
Yeah, and they are in a lot of pieces, aren't they?
And they're not in massive. You get the torsos and the legs, and that's a little bit frustrating. But they go together really easy, even for an idiot like me. But I do like the fact you can interchange, and I found that I can put Perry stuff with them, and they can go on Perry figures as well. And it's actually been quite fun. Listen to me. It's happened on the 13th of January. I'm saying it was fun putting together plastic kits. I just had so much laugh. Yeah,
I found that because I bought a box of the War Games Atlantic Partisans, and I thought, would they mix with any of the kits? And they go perfectly with Warlord Games. The arms fit so well. So my Partisans have got sort of a mixture of British weapons in there as well. Really good.
Yeah, they see. I've got that peasant levy box over there, which I'll be working on after I've done my next unit of rushes. So I've got some stuff that I'm going to do to them. So it'll be. We'll see what. I'm sort of making. I've started making a video about them, and I'm just going to see what I can do and what I can create, a bit like I used to with some of the other Wars of the Roses stuff. So I'm gonna do something similar and see what I can pull out of them in a way. Not in the way that you did, because your video was excellent with the see if they could do the Perry stuff. I've had people email me going, "Oh, can I use these?" And I just went, "Just go watch Dom's video. If you want to use them, use them." It's like don't ask permission.
No, of course you can. You're allowed to. I'll let you. If they come to me, they don't even have to answer questions.
Oh, exactly. exactly. It depends what you're going for, you know.
Exactly.
So I've got some things to play around with and add in, and I'm going to see what I can create. But from what I've seen,
watch out for turnip counters. They're out there. They'll tell you. They'll tell you the peasants aren't the right uniforms.
Oh no, don't worry. Mine are going to be the correct period because there's some things I'm changing about them. Don't worry. I'm going to. Mine are going to be period appropriate. Don't worry.
Oh, good. That's all right then.
I went. Where was that comment? Was it on the video or was it on?
It was on Facebook, I think. When I posted
that's
it
why I
on
couldn't
Facebook.
find it. I mean, after we talked about it, I did go looking for it because I wanted to.
I mean, to be fair, he was quite decent about it. I'm taking the mickey a bit, but it was the fact that he was suggesting that they had a fashion and they changed. I thought, I'm not sure peasants really did that. But there you go. I appreciate the fact they probably evolved.
We won't go into it. We won't go into it now. We won't go into it now. I mean, it is. That's a subject for someone who cares. All right then. Okay, well that's I think, can we decide on is there a quintessential Dark Age kit?
I'm going to go Wargames Atlantic.
Yeah, because
I just love the versatility of them. If I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna have that. I think I hear what you're saying about the Griffin Beasts, and I do think they're very good, but almost they're too simple.
Yeah,
I heard the same myself.
I know. I know. I'm actually shocked. I thought you were going to be. I was like, oh, I know. I'm going to put this in because Dom's definitely going to say this, even though he's, you know.
I mean, I would try and do metal, to be absolutely honest with that period. But again, you know, volume of troops, you probably want a nice bulk of plastics and then mix in some metals.
Yeah, I think like it's probably the period where you're going to get close to almost a 1-to-1 force, though. Especially when we're talking about, you know, raids and things like that, and you know, if you look at if you look at like the raid on Lindisfarne, you know, that kicks the whole things off. It's not huge. I mean, obviously it was just a bunch of monks. What about you, Steve? What do you think? Obviously it's a period that you're sort of just starting.
I'm very new to, but I'd go with Victory because I've enjoyed that. I mean, those first sort of 30 plus, I painted them really quickly. I just thought they were quintessential, and I would certainly, you know, recommend them. But if I was to do any more, and I will be sort of Dark Age stuff, I'll be got Victrix will be my first protocol. I just think I like the kits. I like the way they go together.
I'm going to send you some of those Napoleonic British, and then I'm going to wait for you to say the same thing again. I do quite like the Gripping Beast ones. I think they're actually underrated. I think people, I think there's some really nice stuff in there. Especially because I use their plastics for doing the Seljuks. I just bulked up there, and you know, there's archers in there as well, and there is, you know, some nice commands. I haven't tried out their cavalry before, but I'll have to have a look at it. I've got their Welsh at the minute because I'm adding 3 units of Welsh to my Arthurians, and that box will do that. And plus, and then I'm after Robin went on his and told me that the heads fit, I've gone and raided all the spare heads off the Victrix sprues because they fit perfectly on the Gripping Beast heads. So let's turn it over to the chat because I can't say chat. What do you reckon? It's between these two. What do you think? The Wargames Atlantic or Victrix? I'll let you guys decide, and then I'll while we're looking at the next one, and then we'll come back and decide because I can't. So I'll leave it over to the chat. The final one, which I think I know exactly what's going to happen in this, but obviously it's the period that I like the most, and that is the late medieval period. So here you're basically looking at sort of like the late 14th century, 15th century, maybe even into like the early 16th, right just before the Renaissance starts. So away from the great helms and all of that, all the way up to the cod pieces. So if we're going to do it by fashion, which now seems to be the way to do it. So I mean, obviously Perry make a great, but what are you defined with here? Because this is what people are stumbling around with, and I think what people find hard about the medieval period is there a quintessential unit? Because at this period, peasant levies are not the main sort of building block of the force. You have your households, but also those are not particularly in risk because of bastard feudalism and the way it worked. Or is it men at arms? Is that the quintessential kit? Is that what dominates people's minds when they think of this period? Is full plate armor?
Yes.
Yeah. That was okay. That was, or is it longbowmen? Okay, that was simple.
Do you know? I mean, I think to be honest, I think I was thinking about this the other day. Why it kind of the medieval period particularly, interests me, excite me, and it is longbow and men in armor, the big, the knights, not necessarily on horses, but with big wedging great axes and stuff and going at it and two-handed swords and all that kind of malarkey. So for me, that's what it is. But then we are talking exclusively here about, well, not exclusively, but largely about British and French history, aren't we? Rather than other parts of the world.
You got Germany and all of that, but what became Germany? Sorry, but yes, all of Italy for a bit.
But as you had further east, cavalry become more and more of a thing, and then then the mounted knights and the mounted horse archers and whatever they called Stratoses and that sort of thing become a huge thing. But I think fundamentally, it's big men in big armor lumping great big holes out of each other. Is quintessentially.
Yeah, I mean, and for
period.
That, I mean, and for that's good shout. War wagons.
Oh yeah,
there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I agree. I think the man at arms, the knight, they do that is the when you say this period, or that's what you're thinking of. What about you, Steve? What do you reckon? You've kind of dabbled again in this sort of period.
What I've been more impressed by is in the past 2 minutes talking about medieval warfare, we've just mentioned two characters from He-Man. Man at Arms and Stratos.
There should have been one called War Wagon.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I think for me, it's like Dom said, it's dudes with in plate armor knocking crap out of other dudes with plate armor.
Yeah. I mean, I think now... For Perry, you've obviously got the Foot Knights bombs. They do their earlier one, which is the Agincourt set, which is split into. You get the French one, but that's actually usable across quite a lot of nations at the time. However, you've also got some other really nice sets. You've got people like Steel Fist, who make some really nice ones as well. But what is it? Are we just going to go with Perry again? Is this just? Was there ever any point?
I love the Perry sort of, what do they call it? War of the Roses box set. That does the bill and bow and what
the infantry one. Yeah.
But I don't actually much like the knight set.
I think it's very. I think there should be more livery coats in it. There's only two. There's only two bodies with livery coats. I
would rather buy something like Gripping Beast front rank stuff for that. I think they're
ragged staff,
or yeah. I mean, he needs to expand his range a bit.
Not that you've ever had to buy any. I just like to add.
No. Although I haven't got the new one. I haven't seen that one anywhere.
I bought it. Do you know something? I bought it with me all the way to yours, and then I forgot and brought it all the way home again.
But yeah, I think those sort of I love those. I think the Perry, if you're looking for the normal sort of retinue or normal infantry, then that box set is just one of the best box sets there is. And I think the mounted knights are pretty good. I don't particularly like the foot knights.
I think maybe it's because also they're quite guy in armor is quite boring. There's only so much you can do and oppose that you can do. It's really more about how is he armed and what type of armor is he wearing. Is it Italian? Is it German? Is it fluted? Is it blah 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 and all this stuff? I love the Steel Fist men at arms that they're offering. It's not a huge range, but they are really nice. Although, Pierre said any idea for Burgundian plastic miniature makers? Not for plastics. War Games Atlantic have STLs for the Burgundian. They're quite stylized. They're kind of similar to their plastics. But if you go and have a look at the, they even got Charles the Bold. They even got with all his ridiculous coat of arms molded. So they're in STL. I don't think there's anyone else that does plastic miniatures outside the Perrys for that period. But check out Steel Fist though, because they do some lovely stuff which can be used for the Burgundian Wars. They got lots of Swiss stuff as well, and there's Swiss stuff on the way. But yeah, go check out Claymore. What about Claymore? That's a good shout, Nathan. Yeah.
But they're much earlier period, aren't they? We're talking about War of the Roses.
Well, we're talking like basically 100 Years' War, the start onwards. That's the late medieval sort of period. If we're gonna, basically anything from about 30, pretty much when that peasant box ends. Actually, they put that date on there, 1350. That's essentially what you would coin the end of the high medieval period. And then see, one of my favorites, and I think this is usable across. I love the light cavalry box that Perry make. I think it's fantastic because so many of the bits in it can be used elsewhere to really give a sort of personal feel to the miniatures. Because weirdly, for some reason, the arrow bags come in that set, and I've never really worked out why. And they've got some fully armored guys, but the one that we sold Steon was the mercenary set, which can be used to I've still not opened. Oh, actually, no, tell a lie. I've used a few bits and pieces from that on some Space Weirdos kit bashing.
Great.
But for me, it would be. I know I've been doing that Lion Rampant project, the sort of the multi-based one with smaller figures. I've used a lot of that French Agincourt box. Like Martin, you said before, that can be used across so many different sort of like nations. It just there's no real. There's nothing. It's versatile. And you get loads, and it's absolutely packed full.
So,
what about those Victrix mounted knights? I've not made them myself, but they're
nice.
Good?
They are they're probably the easiest horses I've ever put together.
Right.
But the other, I think I painted half of. No, I made it. You painted 5.
They're a bit early, aren't they? For
they're
the Barons' War kind of period, aren't they? They're sort of kettle hell, not kettle hell. No, they do. They look lovely. I wish if I was going to do a Third Crusade thing, I think I'd probably use those. So obviously we talk about which ones are honourable mentions. But if someone came up to you and said, I want to do, for argument's sake, I want to make a War of the Roses army, or I want to do Burgundian Wars. What box should I buy? Because I like knights and armor. Would you just go start off with the Perry Foot Knights and see how you get on?
Yeah,
you would have to really, to be honest. The only thing, this is another pet hate of Dom's, right? Okay, coming out here. Why the hell? And I think that is now I'm thinking about why I hate, or not hate, why not overly keen on the Perry Knights is you've got guys swinging two-handed axes or big swords or bills or various weapons of different descriptions, and they do them with separate arms, but there's no way you can actually change them. They have to go together in exactly the same way. So what's the point? Why don't they do it like they do with the bill, where they have them as one piece? I just don't understand the logic of that. Sorry, my little thing. Drives me insane though, because they just don't stick together properly. They stick to my face quite well when I
those ones where they've somehow managed to slice down the middle of the pole arm, so you've got to try and line it up while you're lining up the wrists.
I mean, what kind of hell was that? What idea was that? I'm sorry, Perry's, Blessed Perrys, but you got that wrong. But they're not the only ones. Lots of people do that, and I just don't get it.
Yeah, Dom, I would refer you to the several Necromunda and Blood Bowl gangs by Games Workshop. Fantastic figures. Some odd decisions on how they go together, though.
It's just I do not get why. Again, you start me on a rant now. Why the hell do you have a multi-part kit that doesn't allow you to change its positions, but still insists that it has to be multi-part? It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, multi-part that you can move it in different directions or different poses. Fantastic. If that's your thing, fantastic. Personally, I prefer it one piece, but why, if you can only do it in one place? It just makes no sense to me at all. There you go. Move on.
Interesting. All right. Well, I think we've we come to. We'll save that one up and just ask them when we see them.
Need to get that back on again.
Trey Janik said very quickly, if I wanted to start the Wars of Roses, which 3 boxes should I buy? Buy the Wars of Roses Infantry, the Foot Knights, and the Light Cavalry. There you go.
The mercenaries.
All the mercenaries if you want some halberdiers and
I'd say if there's anybody who knows what Dark Age figures to go, you should ask Stradge. Have you seen the stuff he does? Bloody hell.
I know.
Wow. Amanda, they're all metal largely.
No, I've enjoyed that. No, it's just interesting because we are spoiled for choice, but we often we say, hey, Victrix are brilliant, but would you give Victrix to someone who is just starting out, for example? Oh, by the way, Victrix won the Dark Age one.
Did they?
It was Victrix through and through. But anyway, no, thank you for joining us on our little chat. Not looking to. I just thought it was be fun. We could always if people enjoyed it, we can always revisit it with other periods or armies if people really want us to go through it, and maybe next time we get some pictures up as well or something like that other than the art I went and found. But it'd be actually quite interesting to pick even if you were going to. You remember when we did the let's work out how to do a battle? You could have done whose range and etc. are we going to use as well? Anyway,
that was fun.
I've just seen this from Steve. If I'm feeling rich, have a look at Sunday's preview. Made to order classic. Oh, that's so many good memories. Mine would be the goblin with the chainsaw. I can't remember his name, but that'd be a good one. I think that those classic Blood Bowl matches, they're so nostalgic for me.
Right. So let's look at some photos, shall we, for the group? Now, there's been a lot of people in the group who joined, and they've been showing photos. So fantastic. Remember to send us pictures of what you're painting, what you're gaming, what you're reading, even. It's always nice to see some of that stuff. Right. So Alid.
What's he doing now?
So Alid, there we go. So more of his 15mm stuff is underway. I just really like this because he just keeps on posting up just different projects. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
I really enjoy it. Apparently, that guy's name was Nobbler Blackwart, which should be the
that's
name
the guy.
of the
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Is that not Ken's alter ego?
It should be. It is now. It's going to be that on my phone. No, lovely stuff, Alan. Really beautiful nice. Stuff. Looking forward to seeing more of that. Now, Irish Corner Wargamer, he's put up some of our Furies. Now, these are a mixture. Now, how's this? There's 3 manufacturers. They are Westwind, I forgot about. They are Footsore, and I think he said Front Rank as well. So, but they go together fantastically. I'd have thought that they were all one manufacturer.
Well, I would. Yeah, I would.
They love those shields. The way he's, I mean, they're obviously. I assume they're little big man transfers, but the way he's brought them together, amazing. Or has he done them freehand? Do you think?
No, I think those are freehand. If you look at the guy right in the middle, I think those are brush strokes.
Yeah, they look freehand. Yeah,
that is awesome. I really like the guy on the far left, the dudes with the receding hairline.
Yeah,
yes, and you can see him almost hunching down behind his shield, going, "I don't really want to be here."
Lovely stuff. Thank you for showing that, James. Here you go. So he's been working on his Night Lords.
Nice.
Very cool.
play
Now
that.
I wanted to put this picture up, but you go and have a look at his post. He's got some close-ups because the night he's done a cracking job on all of the details, and the blue as well is blended really, really well. I really like that. It's a 30k army as well, so
yeah,
I like that one. And of course, Dom extensively knows the history of the Night Lords.
Of course I do. Move on.
Yeah, absolutely. Hang on 1 second. I just dropped something. Oh God. There we go. There we go. So no, fantastic. Martin has been working on his silver bayonet force, and these were lovely.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Really. So this was a mixture of I think this is a mixture of North Star figures and then North Star silver bayonet figures, or maybe some front rank as well. But really nice.
They are lovely. Yeah, I think that 95th guy is a front rank. I think.
Yeah,
sure.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I do like the Mad Jock. I used to have that figure, and I sold them all. But he's just brilliant. In the back there, fantastic.
Lovely. Cracking stuff. Really nice work. Now Nick. I don't know. Hopefully this will be coming to CrackCon. I don't know because he put on our show the ACW game with the ironclad. So he's working on a War of the Worlds. Game. So this is essentially Naval Brigade. Basically, I noticed there's no rocket. But this is 15 mil, and he's got, and I don't know if you've seen the post, but obviously he's got the what are the ships called? The alien ships in War of the Worlds. I've forgotten what they're called. But I would love. I mean, the way it's coming together, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
lovely
15
stuff.
mil. I can't believe they're 15 mil. That's amazing.
That's
brilliant.
Neil, his form up for Northumberland here with the Wars of Roses. Sensible basing. I like it. I like it. Excellent. I would really like to know. I'm tempted to send Simon Miller a message and just say, just out of curiosity, how many of these bases do you sell now? I'd just like to know. But also, please, can I order some because I'm out. No, lovely stuff. Earl of Northumberland is always a nice one with the black and red livery. It's very cool.
Very good.
He's also a right bastard and is in a lot of the battles, so he's very good. Paul, working on stuff for the Men Who Would Be Kings.
nice.
Look at that.
Good. I like that.
Really nice. Really nice. Have you played that, Dom?
I have. I played it a few times. And actually, for the blue book from Ospreys, are not my favourite rule sets, but of them, the Men of the King, I think is the best lot. I think they work really well.
The alien things are called tripods.
Okay. I thought there was going to be a bit more sophisticated than that, if I'm not going to lie, but yeah. We'll go with that.
No. Oh man, they are lovely. Now Silas had a big ECW game, and I loved it because he had the Starfort on there. So that's using the epic minis. That reminded me of that Starfort that appeared in Cambridgeshire when it flooded the other. Yes, it was literally right like that. You had the little village just over there, and the Starfort just outside it defending it. That's lovely.
I've got that model, and I was very nearly did exactly the same kind of battle a few last year sometime, and then I put it away, and I must get out and do that because that looks great.
Yeah, get it out again, Dom. Get it out and do it. That looks fantastic. And again, playing lengthways up the table, especially that stuff, really does. It's
perfect.
Absolutely lovely. Rusty has been working on these buildings.
Oh, nice.
I really like these ruined buildings. I thought that was very nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. I like it. He's gone to the effort of putting all the interiors, and you can see like these little boxes and stuff in there as well, which I thought was very cool. Really nice stuff. I do like seeing some trade. Now, Rob here has listened for a long time. Finally decided to make a Facebook account so he could join the group and take part in the OPC.
Nice.
So he decided to share some of the Austrians he'd done. Oh, I mean, they are fantastic, lovely, really nice stuff. I
That's
mean,
stunning.
if you
Every time
look at
I see
Armies,
someone
so-
do beautifully painted Austrians like that, makes me think, oh, I could do with an Austrian army.
yeah,
And then I go, no.
yeah. It's yeah. I think Uwa says Andy.
Definitely.
Uwa, lovely stuff, and thank you for joining. That's what we like to see. That's what we like. And that's what we want. It's just people to come and share their hobby, no matter what they're doing. Lovely. Stephen has done this. It's essentially Conan.
Yes.
What is best in life? I mean, I would put him in my Midgard. He just lead. I don't care what type of Midgard battle I'm doing. Conan would lead it.
He should
Be a level 5 leader, wouldn't he? Straight away.
He would just be the army. He would just be the army on his own. He's fantastic.
Love it.
I really like the skin. Really.
Yes.
Is he done, and I not that I'm a good judge of these things. Has he done non-metallic metal on the sword blade?
I think he does. Yeah, he does a lot of his 40k stuff as well.
It's very cool.
Wow.
I mean, it's quite a simple miniature, but it's really kind of evocative. Like just
loads of.
I think it's a Warhammer Underworlds miniature or one of those ones. But yeah, it's Conan.
It's Conan. Yeah,
it's Conan. Everything's better with Conan. And then finally, Wout posted this up. Now I think he's joining OPC as well. So he posted this up and this is for Zona Alpha. And I just thought that was really cool. I liked all the edge highlighting, especially on the weapons. But check out the lenses on the gas.
Yeah, the lenses are.
He's done all the little the lens glare and all of that. And yeah, that's a really nice miniature. Thank you very much for sharing.
That's one of those models where you start looking at it and you see more. Even though it's quite a small model, that you just think, wow.
Yeah, it's and as Robin says, it is Conan. Is there any other barbarian other than Conan? No, he is the quintessential barbarian.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you very much for joining us. It was very nice to have Ken back. Remember to go and check out the Facebook group down below. Go check out Boards and Swords, and you can check out all of our channels and all of that at the links below. And next week we are over with Dom for what's the topic?
It is, can historical refights to be fun to play as a war game?
We're really, really poking the bear, aren't we, this month?
Yes.
Excellent stuff. I'll be looking forward to that. So, guys, it'll be same time next week over on Dom's channel, Boots on the Table. Until then, make sure that you look after yourselves, enjoy all of your painting, and we will see you again next week. Take care of yourselves.
Have a good week.
Yeah, everybody.